There are two main types of heating system found in UK properties, sealed and open-vented. A basic understanding of how these systems work is needed in order to diagnose potential faults. The wiring in each system can be in a Y or S plan configuration. How do you identify each system? In an open-vented system, a small tank is located in the loft. This tank is known as the feed and expansion tank and is located next to or near your larger cold water tank. If you have this type of configuration, please view open-vented section of the video. In a sealed system you have an expansion vessel. This component is usually found by the cylinder. It may also be in the boiler. Also, your system will have a filling loop and pressure gauge as shown in the next photo. If your system has these components, it is a sealed system. Open-vented system common faults. Airlock symptoms. Starting from downstairs working your way up, bleed every radiator as shown in the picture. Any radiators which still do not work, will have to be left open at the bleed valve. Place a receptacle and towel under the radiator, turn your heating on and be patient. Eventually air will be heard leaving the valve and your radiator should start to warm. If you find there is no water being emitted when bleeding your upstairs radiators, this may be due to a blocked cold feed or stuck ball valve in the feed and expansion tank. The ball valve can be easily checked. Go into the loft and check to see the ball valve has not stuck in the closed position. If it has, then spray some WD-40 onto the valve and check it freely moves up and down. This should allow water into the system, and allow you to bleed the radiators. The cold feed is more complicated and you may have to call a heating engineer to replace the section of pipe that is blocked. If your radiators are not warming and you find your boiler keeps shutting off, after a short period of time, then either your diverter valve spindle or pump has seized. You can unseize the diverter valve by removing the head and spraying AC90 onto the spindle, and then moving the spindle with a spanner. The pump can be unseized by turning the impeller with a screwdriver. Please refer to future videos on how to service and repair these components. If you have a radiator controlled by a TRV which is not warming, then you can check to see if the pin has got stuck in the closed position. Remove the head and then spray some WD-40 onto the pin. Wait about 5 minutes, and then gently tap a hammer onto the pin. If you are lucky, the pin will pop up and your radiator will start to warm. If it does not, then the TRV will have to be replaced. You should also check to see if your wireless thermostat has a battery symbol flashing. If it does, then replace the batteries and the thermostat should communicate with the receiver. The receiver should then display a green light and your heating should come on. Most wireless thermostats also have an override button on the receiver. You can press this in an emergency to start your heating system. The main problems you will find on a sealed system are pressure related. A common problem is finding your system pressure is too low. This can prevent your boiler from coming on. To fill your system, locate your filling loop and pressure gauge. Turn the two black knobs. You should then see the needle rise on the gauge. Fill the system until the needle shows 1 bar pressure and then close the knobs. Another common problem is the pressure keeps rising above 3 bar and then leaks out of the safety pipe terminated outside. To cure this problem, you should open a drain-off valve on a radiator or even open the bleed valve. Once the pressure has dropped, undo the cap on the Schrader valve on top of the expansion vessel. Attach a foot pump to this valve and pump the gauge to approximately 1 bar. Leave and monitor for 5 minutes. If the gauge on your foot pump drops, then repeat the above process. Once the pressure is stable at 1 bar, remove the foot pump and replace the Schrader valve cap. Issues with the pump, bleeding radiators and stuck TRV pins have already been covered in this video. I hope this video has been of use and I hope it can save you some money in these difficult times. Please read carefully the notice at the end of the video and subscribe for more DIY tips.